Nadszedł czas zmiany, przejścia do prawdziwego działania wszechświata. I nadszedł czas, aby zrozumieć, że używamy stanu materii, by osiągnąć poziom zrozumienia duszy człowieka. Teraz rozumiesz, być może, dlaczego Kreator wysłał swoich posłańców w imię tego, co miałeś. To oni przynoszą uszy, aby można było ich użyć, gdy nadejdzie czas Mesjasza. Mogę nauczyć duszę i przesłanie. Nie by się przeciwstawiać, ale poprzez ich zrozumienie przez tych, którzy stali się Mesjaszami, aby dawać ze swoich dusz, aby ich elewować. Zadanie stało się łatwe. Szkoła jest tutaj i uczniowie są tutaj w oddaniu. Wtedy nie będzie żadnej walki między tym, co nazywają muzułmanami a chrześcijanami. Baranek i lew będą jeść i spać w tym samym gnieździe. Chrześcijanie i muzułmanie będą spać i modlić się w meczecie, w tym samym kościele, w imię ich dusz, nie w imię religii, które są używane do tworzenia tak wielu konfliktów, dla korzyści tych, którzy byli hiperaktywnymi dziećmi. Nadszedł czas, czas zmian jest tutaj. I jak powiedziałem, moje życzenie jest moim rozkazem. Jeśli pragniesz ujrzeć pokój, droga pokoju jest wyłożona bardzo wyraźnie. To dusza świadomości zbiorowej. Poprzez dawanie stworzy tą pozycję zmiany. Nic innego. W duszy człowieka nie ma długopisu. Jestem pewien, że po wejściu do społeczności uniwersalnej nigdy nie zobaczysz niczego zapisanego, ale równowagę pól duszy egzystencji. Staraj się być na tyle pokornym, aby nie stać się aroganckim w mocy, którą zrozumiałeś i posiadłeś. Inaczej wpadniesz w tą samą ścieżkę kościoła i meczetu. To jest to, co obiecaliśmy i to właśnie dostarczyliśmy. Musimy zrozumieć działanie duszy i musimy zrozumieć, że dusza człowieka jest gwiazdą w kosmosie wszechświata. Jeśli porównamy duszę człowieka i tak wielu nas, 7 miliardów w jednym zbiorze, Ziemia jest jak galaktyka z tak wieloma gwiazdami. Kiedy patrzymy w głąb wszechświata, widzimy galaktyki z setkami milionów gwiazd. Podobnie jest z planetą Ziemią. Niesie 7 miliardów pięknych gwiazd, które są duszą człowieka. Niesie z sobą duszę tak wielu trylionów zwierząt, roślin i wszystkiego innego. Jeśli więc patrzą ci, którzy nie widzą fizyczności Ziemi i jej zawartości, co widzą? Widzą galaktykę z wielką ilością pięknych, świecących świateł. Każda według swojej siły. Każda zgodnie ze swoją pozycją. Niemowlę ma piękną duszę, podobnie jak staruszek. Dla tych niefizycznych, którzy nie widzą fizycznego wymiaru tej planety, ale widzą siłę pola, jesteśmy gromadami gwiazd. Ludzka rasa, każda pojedyncza dusza, nikt z daleka nie widzi. To jest dusza rybaka, to jest dusza kosmologa, to jest dusza prezydenta. Wszystkie świecą bez względu na fizyczność. To jest magia. Oto, co nowa nauka musi przynieść człowiekowi. Kiedy patrzymy przez naszą duszę, widzimy tylko gwiazdy w innych duszach. I to jest przełom. To jest zrozumienie. Na tym właśnie polegają te wszystkie nauki. Dojście do dojrzałości następnego poziomu, aby zrozumieć daleki kosmos. Wszechświat jest ostrygą dla tych dusz, które służą. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy do wejścia w kosmos. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy, aby stać się częścią uniwersalnej społeczności, która została obiecana. Nigdy nie obiecywałem wam nieba. Zawsze obiecywałem wam elewację człowieka, aby przyłączył się do rodziny. A teraz macie klucz. To wy musicie otworzyć drzwi, aby zrozumieć, że mogę elewować duszę tych ludzi lub milionów innych dusz, że fizyczne życie na tej planecie zmieni się. Wtedy jestem godny bycia częścią społeczności uniwersalnej, by być, aby służyć, aby się rozwijać, by być tam, aby być częścią, że w cyklu życia wszechświata staje się w byciu częścią, staje się częścią totalności. Kiedy człowiek osiągnie ten punkt, pojawi się nowy wymiar w sile duszy człowieka, który jest poza wyobrażeniem zrozumienia życia fizycznego. To jest brama do otwarcia nowego życia w nowym wymiarze, co jest poza wyobrażeniem tego, co mogliście nazwać nowym początkiem, nowym cyklem, gdzie ten cykl niesie ze sobą źródło stworzenia życia we wszechświecie i unikosie. To jest elewacja duszy, aby służyć. Stała się kluczem. Nie tron życia fizycznego. Czas jest odpowiedni, nadszedł czas, aby człowiek przeszedł przez ten proces.
Okej, witamy wszystkich na 402 warsztacie poszukiwaczy wiedzy w języku polskim. Są to warsztaty publiczne. Mamy czwartek, 1 października 2020, 21 godzina. Zaczynamy tłumaczenie pierwszej części 347 już warsztatu poszukiwaczy wiedzy. W zasadzie od początku, od 12 minuty 10 sekundy do godziny 03, tam parę sekund. Potem sobie jak zwykle otworzymy sesję na pytania, odpowiedzi i ewentualne uwagi, czy to do tego warsztatu, czy generalnie. Także już za chwilę włączamy materiał, zapraszam.
Those of you who are writing so many nice emails and communications to the center, claiming everything you can, and as the heads of the center and the officials of the local government says, the technology is a breakthrough, and now they understand how much people are trying to stop this technology to reach the population, and they do not listen to these standards. There is another point that on Thursday teaching of one nation, one planet, one race, we opened the hand of one of the knowledge seekers who was setting up to take over the Keshe Foundation as the queen of the Keshe Foundation, and they did not know that we knew. And in that process, we explained how I was supposed to be told I'm mentally demented, and for her to take over and then hand it over to the satanic groups she's working with. And once they realized that we knew and they walked into their own setup, we have seen flurry of texts which she's been sending out to all over the world to everyone. We have kept these evidences, and it's been handed over to the lawyers for criminal investigation and criminal offense, possible prison sentence. The extent of the allegations are so deep that it damages not only me, but the foundation, and we take an action on behalf of the foundation primarily. One of the reasons that you have to understand why she's taking this action is that they realized they could not get the hold of Keshe Foundation, and she made a claim for 40 million euro from the foundation for her private services to the number of the Keshe Foundation's knowledge seekers. We have put this into the court, and she's claiming that all of our work we've done is hers as usual, she done before, and she's expecting a 40 million euro from Keshe Foundation to be paid to her for her personal services. And this has to be, and is on the table, received by our lawyers, and now you understand why she's angry sending all this. All the work we did as knowledge seekers is hers, and she wants to be paid 40 million for. So collectively, us as knowledge seekers have to collect around about 25 cents to 50 cents to pay for professional services of her. That is more or less, as we said, the claim on the whole private services is on the knowledge seekers to understand. So now you understand why you start receiving such a massive amount of thing is all lies, cheats, deception, and now a claim for 40 million from all of us that she can have. So they say professionals, prostitutes, and priests know exactly where to go for the money. And one covers all of it. In this essence, we thank you all for sending all the communications you're receiving to us, and these are all adding to the criminal case, which is building up within what we call a structure. And please understand, whatever you read is exactly what somebody who was planning to be the head of Keshe Foundation after putting me and some other members of the Keshe Foundation Mental Institute to be handed over to those who were planning to shut the Keshe Foundation down. Now you understand the extent of how much we will infiltrate you directly. And in so many ways, I thank you for contacting us and sending all these lies and deceptions which has been put on the internet. And in due course, as we have started a criminal case against, to be heard in the courts. This is the way I run my life. Everything on the table the way it is and the way we all understand. I share my knowledge, I share my life with the foundation. And the reason we have held back, because the price of 40 million is on the life of my son. My son has not been seen for 3 months, hidden, and if I don't pay the 40 million on behalf of the Keshe Foundation, I might not never see my son. And now you understand. Ransom by those who are professionals. And in so many ways, with different excuses, we all pay for our what we believed in and what we served. I do not go any further, but it's exactly 3 months I don't know where my son is. I don't know if he's alive or he's been, through her profession, been passed on somewhere else. And I hope you all understand, and we keep this matter away from public till the courts in the land decide, and then we let you know. I pray for the soul of my son. It's not easy. This is what the Belgians are. The priests, the professionals, the prostitutes, and the rest. And we've seen how exactly the same method as was used by Dirk has been used to cover the internet. The same lies, the same way. And I hope, my wish is that as knowledge seekers, we stay solid and loyal to what we are doing to change the course of humanity. The teaching of today is very deep, and it goes and touches many ways in the deepest space travel. I would like to thank Jalal and the group which came from London and the others who came to be in the live presentation today. And in due course, hopefully we hold a session and that all the knowledge seekers could be present. In so many ways, the knowledge has reached its pinnacle. In the coming days, as we announced in the teaching on Tuesday, we just re-emphasize for those of you who don't go to the Tuesday teaching, One Nation, One Planet, One Race, is that the Keshe Foundation, as of this week, has placed an order for the third enhancement unit to be added to the two you have seen. The new enhancement unit will most probably be able to demonstrate or show its structure before the end of the teaching, is the new flight system. That's what you most probably call the UFOs. This unit will be added to the collection on the platform of the enhancement unit in the coming months. And it's been made to be a 5-passenger flight system. In a way, it has the capability to fly and position itself. It carries all the things necessary as is in other two for feeding and creation. It will be a new transportation system. We estimate, as we said, the flight from Linz or Vienna to cities like New York and, let's say, Beijing in less than 10 minutes. This technology will be demonstrated in public, and as we added the two enhancement units, this unit will take its place in the center of the two. This will be the evolution in the space technology and transportation. You can adopt it to be used as a taxi, you can adopt it to be used as a bus, you can adopt it to be used as transportation between different parts of this planet as we become one nation. I have asked our manufacturing team in China to deliver to us before end of today, as we did with you originally, with the enhancement units, the schematics, and then we saw the final versions in Linz of the new flight system. The new flight system takes us into a new dimension, brings us to the point that mankind will be able to reach any point on this planet, irrespective of time and position and place. And at the same time, we will see that this technology will be delivered in total to the whole of humanity in one go. In a way, as I said, we are getting ready for what we call 21st of October line, that we switch over into what we call delivery of the technologies in a rapid way across this planet. In a way, preparing everything for the final date of 21st of March 21. In so many ways, as we have said, we have prepared everything for us to be able to be there to deliver the technology in a comprehensive way that pushes mankind to new frontiers of peace, love, and being there to be able to live a peaceful life, not only on this planet, but across the universe. In so many ways, I'm fulfilling what I promised and within the time frame which I promised. It is the responsibility of knowledge seekers to disperse the knowledge and the technology across the world. When we showed the two enhancement units has created a vibrant, positive move across the scientific world, because by looking at it, even when you look at the enhancement on its own, for the first time, man sees the opportunity to be able to share the knowledge in a comprehensive way. In so many ways, we have learned how to conduct, how to be able to reach a position. And in so many ways, we need to extend our knowledge. We need to understand the extent of our work in understanding the totality. Rick, could you please allow me to share on both the screens, please? When you look at it, is what is the first time in front of us. When we see the totality of the knowledge, and we see how we can share so simply the knowledge. Then we can see what we inspire. The whole work of the Keshe Foundation and my teaching has been to inspire man to look in the new ways, not to copy the old ways of what we do. Rick, I still don't get access to my screen share.
I think I have to change one of the settings here.
On both channels, I don't access. Yes, it's okay. I've got it.
Okay.
As I said, the whole history of this technology is to inspire new understanding, is to bring us to understand a new way. In so many ways, when we share a picture like this, it gives us a new dimension. For the first time, we see the sun. We understand the position of we can create not only material, but we can create a condition of replication of the different work of the universe. The system as the sun in the center, and then you see a different system in the background. We can create a condition of the earth. We can create another reactive condition of the moon. We can cluster them and see their behavior. We can bring them in a way to create fields that allows us to understand the fields that we encounter in the universe. Change the center gravitational magnetic fields to the center of a galaxy, and each system become one solar system. Change the system in the center as the structure of a center of universe. And we can study, we can understand, we can position systems now. How and what we see. Our scientist tells us such a star in such a place has such a mixture of material. Now we create the condition of center of galaxy or center of the universe and position that field of strength in that position in the system. Then we see what it produces, how life could be. Can we sustain life in a present condition, or we have to make adaptation to the system? Now you understand that this system is not just for material making. The scientists of the coming time, they use for the first time as they've seen it and they understand it to open new dimensions in the world of science and technology. In so many ways, when we say universal material enhancement, in a way it materializes the work of the universe, not the matter state we look for to produce something. In so many ways, in the coming days, we will show the power of the technology. In a way, we show the understanding and the intellect of this technology. When you look at the man on the other side in the universal body enhancement, we take each organ as one satellite, as one structure, live interacting with the rest of the system. In the new understanding of the technology, you can put man, the beast, the man from the universe in this system, and all will benefit by it to what they need. Life is sweet when you understand the knowledge of the universe. This is my job, to inspire you, to extend. And the knowledge inspiration doesn't come by those who sit as knowledge seekers, comes from those scientists who listen and read and watch this, and then they add to their knowledge to it and create a new dimension. These technologies are new, so it takes time. These systems, according to European standard, have a CE certification and can be turned on any location, anywhere in the world. In so many ways, we have created the replication of the universe and the body of the man. And in so many ways, we can test it anywhere. I made a promise, and in the coming days, while we test, and if we achieve new dimensions in testing, we go live. Keep an eye on your Zooms all the time. If you get notification, means we have moved in new territory. It means we have developed or we've seen something that we want to share. This has been the ethos of my work, sharing knowledge, really independently. In the system that is now in position, ready for its demonstration, we have placed a number of lights, fluorescent tube lights, in different locations, which means at different height you have different locations, different fluorescent tubes that in interaction with the fields, if the fields of the plasma reaches the matter state electron vibration, these fluorescent tubes, some 6 of them around the reactors, will come on. Don't forget, this is the way Tesla showed us transformation of energy through plasma. Both systems have been set the same. And in the coming days, as we test and knowledge seekers come and go, they enjoy the beauty of the new technology. Don't forget, we all use and develop ganses in different ways, and when you come to this building, it's the collection of ganses. We are there with the full knowledge that we know what this technology is. We come to inspire. There is one thing I want to tell you, my dear friends. Please, when you come to the center, as many of you have done in past days, I respect you and I appreciate your kindness. Do not bring gifts to us. Give the gift to someone else. By the nature of the position we are in, we do not accept gifts for security reasons. I saw many people bringing gifts from dates to Maghreb systems to others. I thank you for it. But you have to understand, for security reasons, we cannot accept. Bring your love, bring your knowledge, and learn to share your soul. And in so many ways, I try to be in the center at least once a day, that people who are there, we can meet, we can say hello and be present in soul and in body. Try to understand that we are demonstrating a technology which is certified and used across this world in different shape and forms by knowledge seekers and by Keshe Foundation. As we have seen, no hazards and no danger, and we have seen the presence of this technology when it comes to the space level has brought peace to us. We saw it in the Middle East, we saw it in Black Sea. We have seen the demolishing of the powers of those who were superpowers by simple technology. We expect this technology will bring us more. In the coming days and weeks, we will demonstrate in different shape and forms. And as we achieve, as has been the tradition by Keshe Foundation, we go live instantaneously. For you to be with us, for you to learn from us and add to it, for you to be able to share the knowledge. And as I said, we have to be there to inspire the new generation, the young, that they take the technology to the love of it to the next generation. Keep an eye on all the what are called your Zooms, and as I said, my knowledge is free and I have given it freely up to now. What we do is we teach. How we use it, it depends on our intellect and it depends on our ethos. In so many ways, mankind has to learn a new way. And we are literally laying it in front of you for you to learn, to develop, and to show. In so many ways, we do not know where mankind will go with this. We see an outcome, a beautiful outcome. With this technology, you cannot harm. With this technology, you cannot destroy. With this technology, you cannot go out of your way to disturb or distract. It's a collective, inclusive technology. And in so many ways, we do not know how we will react to many of it. It's 7 billion of us. Each one of us will react different to it according to the expectation and knowledge we have. One of the most important things for me to teach in the next few weeks, and by demonstration of the unit in the working condition, does not matter what happens. You have by now must have learned about the way I work. I'm not afraid of failure, because the failure shows we haven't learned something and we have to learn. In the test we do, the success, the no success, or what we don't see does not measure where the technology is how the systems have been set. One of the first things we'll try to do is to create a condition of lift and motion. We know we will have interference in different dimensions, and as these are the natural plasmatic fields, they are the same fields as we see from the sun every day passing through us. These are the fields that we absorb from cosmos every day through us. There is no side effect. If it was, we would have had it from the sun. We would have had it from all the cosmic rays from the time of our birth. So those of you who will be scaremongering, we tell you one thing: you have not understood the technology. Plasma technology is the way our body is built. GAN's technology is the structure of our body. And we have seen many people trying to scare other people with all the things they write. We've been using it for years. There is a matter which has been raised that I received a problem with my liver since I came Iran. I received problems in my liver when I was poisoned by Dirk. Nothing to do with the technology. And this has to be understood. And it only started when I was given poison by the hand of Dirk. So when they start scaremongering, you will see a lot of things. And be safe. This technology stands on its own merit and has been around for 15, 20 years. We have not seen any dead bodies. We have not seen anybody going anywhere, except saving people's lives. Be aware that as we now start opening the technology this way, pharmaceuticals, financial organizations, mining organizations, computer organizations, all see themselves in danger. But my message to them is one thing: collectively work and you see the benefits of it. And it's not endangering anything, but it pushes you to develop new technologies, new understanding. In the process of the teaching of today, I would love to teach you something, what we call in the universal community as a line of connection. For man to create that line of connection has taken thousands and millions of years. But you have not managed to reach it. What does that mean? You need that line of connection to connect the fields of your soul to the soul of physicality. You do not know how to reach it. You need to understand the connection between the fields of the plasma and not with the interaction of the matter of the plasma. You have to move, as I always said, look at the fields and not the matter. In this process, it's vital for those who follow this path to understand that if you can interact and live within these fields, you can travel the span of universe to the structure of the fields of the universe. No need for burning fuel. No need for doing anything but thoughts. If you can connect the dimension of your thoughts through your soul to this reactor in the middle, and your wish is copper so much in this shape, it will be produced. You know this knowledge. We call it the knowledge of love. We know this because it's one of the only ways which the soul of physicality and the soul of the man have connection. You feel your love, you reach your love. You feel its pain, you feel its need, you feel it's whatever is. And instantaneously you know. You love your son, you think about it and he calls. You think about your lover and the mention in the soul brings the touch of the screen in physicality. This is where we try to connect. This is where mankind has to be. If you understood in so many languages from the beginning of the teaching, we have called it background, magnetic and gravitational. If you understand the field strength in giving in the direction of what you need, you will receive it in the other way back. In so many ways, the knowledge is complete. You have to filter it. You have to understand it, that how it applies to all of you. You have to be clear about how things go to be. You have to be able to link up with the emotion of the soul that reaches the emotion of physicality, that in a physical dimension it manifests itself, or vice versa. In so many ways, mankind has to learn to listen, to feel the vibration of the fields of the soul of the man of his own. Many people say, I have no connection with my soul. I don't see. It's just you are the only one who sees. Because by doing this, I stop acknowledging the existence of my soul. And in so many ways, I choose the material and matter state. The soul of the man has no tangible physicality, but manifests itself in the emotion of the man. This is where mankind needs to strengthen its fields. And this is where gradually, as I've taught many times over years, be able through the soul of the man to manifest whatever he needs in the palm of the man. Soul of the man and the soul of physicality in a wish and emotion can create what the man needs at any position. Frock on the shoulder, metal in the hand, and the shoes on the foot. When you travel the depth of the space, and if you have a physical dimension of the foot, and you travel and walk in the acid dimension, there is no shoes to go back to on earth to buy to bring it. The emotion of the soul and the emotion of the physicality create that what you call shoes. It creates that gold in your hand. The love of giving by both leads to creation of what it is. Mankind has to learn in a simple way, in a very simple way. The love of a man and a woman leads to creation of a child. The love of the soul of physicality and soul of the man leads to what man wants to be created. This is where the knowledge of the man is not completed. Man does not need computers, man does not need a car. In a wish of understanding of totality, he can have both with the full support of soul and physicality. This is what in the coming time, especially with the enhancement unit, I will be teaching. In so many ways, mankind has to learn to communicate between different parts different part of his existence that he can support life anywhere in the universe, both in the dimension of physicality or energy, plasma condition, what we call the soul. In so many ways, if you look, this ball in the screen is the soul of the man. And all these bolt systems around in a specific way set create the emotion of the creation and perfection. With these technologies, we are not here to demonstrate the flight. We are not here to demonstrate creation of material. We are here to enlighten the soul of the man to know how his physical condition can collaborate and work to lead to the creation of what he needs. Does not mean that all men will understand this. Does not mean that everyone who sees this technology as it is will grasp the idea of it. But those who get enlightened will reach the new condition of living independently anywhere in the universe. In so many ways, we all know there is a car, and we all know it needs a driver, and we all go to the school to learn how to drive. The prime purpose of enhancement by the unit is to teach you how to drive, how to control, and how to bring the physicality of the body of the man through the emotion and the soul of the man to his destination, to the point of his pleasure and joy and living. In a way, the production of the new enhancement system is for the man to see the connection between the soul and the soul of physicality. In so many ways, mankind has to mature to understand, to comprehend. And in so many ways, mankind needs to understand. We put you in the car and we let you to drive, and in a way, drive from the soul into the dimension of physicality and gradually learn. Learn how to connect with your soul. Learn how to be able to make the systems within the structure of your own being that you can survive the span of the universe. All these teachings are for man to be able to survive in the space. Keshe Foundation is a space organization. We are not here to do other things, but at the same time, we have the right to have some fun by learning, by teaching, by sharing knowledge the way we do. Would we in a coming time be able to mature man to the point of understanding the connection between the soul and physicality of the man while we live in the dimension of the man is a different story. Is what I call the fire of love for the man so deep that he will allow the technology to become part of his existence. We need to be able to do what we want to do. We need to be able to share in so many ways the knowledge. But at the same time, we have to be flexible to accept the new understanding. Mainly, his acceptance is within the structure of the man and no one else. The time of change comes through the understanding of the change. To be able to live and understand how the fields interact with us. We are in the center of what we call the lights of the universe, the fields of the universe. And the knowledge is understanding how to utilize it, be it from the soul of the man, be it from different dimensions of understanding of the motion of the fields. What do we understand from these interactions? What do we understand? What to expect from these interactions? Do we still need systems to travel? Or can we travel within the depth of the universe through the dimension of the fields of the body of the man? Do we allow the soul of the man to be engaged within the physicality of the man, or do we allow the soul to take over the physicality and protect it? Rick, would you please show the video which we have from our friends in Brazil, which you showed on the Tuesday?
Okay, just a minute.
Thank you very much. It's important for all of us to realize and visually see what the knowledge is coming. Now, step by step, gradually, knowledge seekers can visualize, can understand, can see. The knowledge seekers are gradually trying and are visualizing what should be interesting. The knowledge seekers gradually move to the dimension of understanding the totality. And it's for us to be able to see it, that we can visualize it, then we can make connection with it. Have you managed to set it up yet, Rick?
Yes, you just have it now.
That's perfect. Thank you very much. This is the brain of the man. And just have a look. Now we know where the soul is. We have envisaged and understood. Now we understand. It's within us. It's within our existence, where we never knew. But now with the new technology that we can elevate it, the brain is still there, but now become part of the physicality and receives the protection. This is what man has been afraid of, to lose their physicality. But in fact, is more protected than before. No disease, no viruses, nothing can reach it. We engage it. Now we're learning how to use it to protect us. Limitless time and life. The biggest fear of the man has been, what happens if I let the soul goes, and would it lead to my demise? Because when it leaves, is that the end? It's time to understand how we can create the fields within the body of the man, and through it, to enhance the power of the soul of the man that he can protect. We do that by loving someone. Now we need to do the same by loving our soul. We share it, we understand it, and we comprehensively need to work towards amalgamating the two. And part of these teachings are this. Most of the teachings are this, that how we can bring the two to live inside each other, and depending on the position and the time and the wish of either one, to manifest themselves as a soul or as a physicality. We have seen the physicality has many weaknesses, and in so many ways we cannot stop. But would the presence of the soul of the man will give the man that edge? It is a beautiful demonstration of what man shall see, to become the light, to become the source of life. And in so many ways, once we understand this, mankind will move to a new dimension. The fear of demise will not be there. The fear of would I be able to create myself will not exist. Mankind will become in the position of his own life and his existence. Man becomes the soul. And if you understand this, would we lead to the new dimension? Would we go to understanding the totality of it? And would we take a future in our hand? Then we decide where we manifest ourselves in the galaxies and the stars. This is the new knowledge for man to hold his destiny, not on this planet, but in the universe, but with the hand of the soul, and when it need be, with the hand of physicality. The teaching in depth is to understand the future of mankind is in the palm of his hand. We need to understand, we need to be able to become the satellites of the universe, independent of time and position. In so many ways, we become the sun. In so many ways, we are teaching you how to take charge and become scintillating lights in the universe. You choose, you travel by the soul or through the dimension of the lights as you were posed and raised. In so many ways, we have made everything possible for you to grasp, to understand you are one of these lights in the universe. You can decide the position of it by termination of the physicality, or you can decide to elevate your soul to have the physicality within you to manifest in any other position in the universe. As I said, when you look into the depth of the universe, there's nothing but covered with the shining lights, which is from the soul of the creation of the planet, or the soul of those who have become the seeds of the new cycle. The understanding of the technology has to be in totality. The understanding of the technology has to be to understand the effect of rays. And in so many ways, to be part of it, to understand the interaction of it, and with it, to be the what we call one thing. Wherever you are in the universe, you become the messenger of peace and friendship. Be it in the dimension of physicality or be it in the dimension of the soul. The bird is the physicality and the light is the soul. Both carries the same message. Until mankind does not reach that level, mankind will not leave this planet. In so many ways, we have to learn one thing: how to share the knowledge, and the rest will come by itself. The rest will appear in the new dimensions and the new ways. And in so many ways, would we become part of it by choice? That's another path. What we share is understanding that the knowledge has to be shared freely. Now that we have built the new systems and we can show you, you can follow, you can understand, you can enhance your knowledge through the knowledge of the universe. In the coming months, as we reach towards our goal of 21st of March 21, we'll start teaching you how to tap into the universal knowledge, using your soul, using your understanding, and understanding that in the presence of time, mankind needs to be evolving in one direction, and that becomes free from detaching itself from attachment to many things. Even in detachment, we get attached. And this is where most of the problem with humanity has sat. And that's where the abuse has been. And in so many ways, when you look at different lights and rays, that should give you the full indication of how we understand the totality.
No okej, to by była pierwsza część tego warsztatu. Koniec materiału na dzisiaj. Jeśli ktoś ma ochotę podzielić się wiedzą, wnieść swoje zrozumienia albo zadać jakieś pytania, to zapraszam. Okej, to jeśli nie ma żadnych pytań, to myślę, że w niedzielę dooglądamy sobie drugą część warsztatów. Wtedy postaram się też ze swojej strony podsumować te wątki, które tutaj były poruszane, bo jak to ma dr Keshe w zwyczaju, to zaczynamy mówić o warsztacie, potem ładnie się wszystko zapętla i do tego wracamy, więc takie ogólne omówienie tematu myślę, że zrobimy sobie w niedzielę. Chyba że jeszcze ktoś ma ochotę coś dodać, zanim zamkniemy. Jeśli nie, to w takim razie włączamy outro. Na dzisiaj kończymy. Zapraszamy na niedzielę. Spokojnej nocy.
Nadszedł czas zmiany, przejścia do prawdziwego działania wszechświata. I nadszedł czas, aby zrozumieć, że używamy stanu materii, by osiągnąć poziom zrozumienia duszy człowieka. Teraz rozumiesz, być może, dlaczego Kreator wysłał swoich posłańców w imię tego, co miałeś. To oni przynoszą uszy, aby można było ich użyć, gdy nadejdzie czas Mesjasza. Mogę nauczyć duszę i przesłanie. nie by się przeciwstawiać, ale poprzez ich zrozumienie przez tych, którzy stali się Mesjaszami, aby dawać ze swoich dusz, aby ich elewować. Zadanie stało się łatwe. Szkoła jest tutaj i uczniowie są tutaj w oddaniu. Wtedy nie będzie żadnej walki między tym, co nazywają muzułmanami, a chrześcijanami. Baranek i lew będą jeść i spać w tym samym gnieździe. Chrześcijanie i muzułmanie będą spać i modlić się w meczecie, w tym samym kościele, w imię ich dusz, nie w imię religii, które są używane do tworzenia tak wielu konfliktów, dla korzyści tych, którzy byli hiperaktywnymi dziećmi. Nadszedł czas zmian jest tutaj. I jak powiedziałem, moje życzenie jest moim rozkazem. Jeśli pragniesz ujrzeć pokój, droga pokoju jest wyłożona bardzo wyraźnie. To dusza świadomości zbiorowej. Poprzez dawanie stworzy tą pozycję zmiany. Nic innego. W duszy człowieka nie ma długopisu. Jestem pewien, że po wejściu do społeczności uniwersalnej nigdy nie zobaczysz niczego zapisanego, ale równowagę pól duszy egzystencji. Staraj się być na tyle pokornym, aby nie stać się aroganckim w mocy, którą zrozumiałeś i posiadłeś. Inaczej wpadniesz w tą samą ścieżkę kościoła i meczetu. To jest to, co obiecaliśmy i to właśnie dostarczyliśmy. Musimy zrozumieć działanie duszy. I musimy zrozumieć, że dusza człowieka jest gwiazdą w kosmosie wszechświata. Jeśli porównamy duszę człowieka i tak wielu nas, 7 miliardów w jednym zbiorze, Ziemia jest jak galaktyka z tak wieloma gwiazdami. Kiedy patrzymy w głąb wszechświata, widzimy galaktyki z setkami milionów gwiazd. Podobnie jest z planetą Ziemią. Niesie 7 miliardów pięknych gwiazd, które są duszą człowieka. Niesie z sobą duszę tak wielu trylionów zwierząt, roślin i wszystkiego innego. Jeśli więc patrzą ci, którzy nie widzą fizyczności Ziemi i jej zawartości, co widzą? Widzą galaktykę z wielką ilością pięknych, świecących świateł. Każda według swojej siły. Każda zgodnie ze swoją pozycją. Niemowlę ma piękną duszę, podobnie jak staruszek. Dla tych niefizycznych, którzy nie widzą fizycznego wymiaru tej planety, ale widzą siłę pola, jesteśmy gromadami gwiazd. Ludzka rasa, każda pojedyncza dusza, nikt z daleka nie widzi. To jest dusza rybaka, to jest dusza kosmologa, to jest dusza prezydenta. Wszystkie świecą bez względu na fizyczność. To jest magia. Oto, co nowa nauka musi przynieść człowiekowi. Kiedy patrzymy przez naszą duszę, widzimy tylko gwiazdy w innych duszach. I to jest przełom. To jest zrozumienie. Na tym właśnie polegają te wszystkie nauki. Dojście do dojrzałości następnego poziomu, aby zrozumieć daleki kosmos. Wszechświat jest ostrygą dla tych dusz, które służą. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy do wejścia w kosmos. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy, aby stać się częścią uniwersalnej społeczności, która została obiecana. Nigdy nie obiecywałem wam nieba. Zawsze obiecywałem wam elewację człowieka, aby przyłączył się do rodziny. A teraz macie klucz. To wy musicie otworzyć drzwi, aby zrozumieć, że mogę elewować duszę tych ludzi lub milionów innych dusz, że fizyczne życie na tej planecie zmieni się. Wtedy jestem godny bycia częścią społeczności uniwersalnej, by być, aby służyć, aby się rozwijać, by być tam, aby być częścią, że w cyklu życia wszechświata staje się w byciu częścią, staje się częścią totalności. Kiedy człowiek osiągnie ten punkt, pojawi się nowy wymiar w sile duszy człowieka, który jest poza wyobrażeniem zrozumienia życia fizycznego. To jest brama do otwarcia nowego życia w nowym wymiarze, co jest poza wyobrażeniem tego, co mogliście nazwać nowym początkiem, nowym cyklem, gdzie ten cykl niesie ze sobą źródło stworzenia życia we wszechświecie i unikosie. To jest elewacja duszy, aby służyć. Stała się kluczem. Nie tron życia fizycznego. Czas jest odpowiedni, nadszedł czas, aby człowiek przeszedł przez ten proces.